1-0 defeat to Gosport today, quite a tough one to take, to be honest. What did you make of the game?
Same old story, I think, for us. Something we've probably learned since we've come in here is we can be very solid. We obviously conceded a few chances today, but we can be very solid. We've been very organised again, but we know that we're a little bit toothless at the moment in and around the final third, not just individually, but also just in our final decisions. And we're a bit of a nearly team in the final third at the moment, and I think that's probably the big thing for us, really. I think again we've been very, very close in every single game. It's been really tightly contested games that we've had so far, and I think that's the difference for us at the moment. Is we're just lacking a little bit of cutting edge and a little bit of ruthlessness and maybe a bit of nastiness at the moment when we get into the opposition's box or in and around it. I thought in general play the game was obviously not, wasn't particularly easy on the eye. Pitch is obviously quite bobbly, so it's quite hard, I think, for either side to really play on it. So there was a lot of second balls and a lot of runs in behind. And I think we're just a little bit nearly at the moment. It's another one where you see enough. It wasn't like Froome last week where we were really poor. This is another one like the Havant game where you see enough in the group to know that something can happen, but we're just a little bit short in some areas at the moment.
Talking about that lack of goals and chances created, we're actually the lowest scorers in the league. That's got to change, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't change overnight. That's something that's clearly gone on over the whole season. I think it's a mixture of a few things. It's potentially personnel in some areas. It's maybe the way the team's been set up, and it's hard, isn't it? Because when you haven't scored much all season, it doesn't just change at a click of a finger. So yeah, it's hard to assess today. I thought first 15-20 Gosport were really good, and then we changed shape, and I thought we got a handle on the game. Obviously they've had a few chances which they'll feel like they should have scored. And I think, you look at the second half when we get into their box, and we got into their box, 4 or 5 times where you're thinking, we should something happen here, and it just doesn't quite come off for one reason or the other. So, it's frustrating because it's another tight game. I don't think you can potentially argue that Gosport maybe deserve to win over the 90. But ultimately, when you come here and it is 1-0 and you've got chances, you've got to be looking to come away with something, even if that's a point. So, really disappointing because it feels like a similar story where the game ends up quite tight and only for a few moments, like they've had chances, but they've scored a deflected goal. So again, it's just moments that aren't going our way, and I think that sometimes happens when you're down there, and we got to change that luck to favour ourselves.
With Jam Smith being brought back to the club, what do you make of his performance today?
Jams did well. I mean, we know Jams well anyway. We obviously had him here. I thought he did well. He was asked to do a couple of different roles. Today we obviously changed shape at times in the game, and I thought he adapted well to that. He's fit and he's athletic and he's positive when he gets the ball, and also thought he defended well. We obviously know they've got some real strong wide men, and it's it can be a difficult place to come, especially when you're up against it. And I thought Jam's handled that really well today.
Obviously, Jam was the first signing you guys have made. Will there be other players coming in?
We would like to think so. There's a few that we've been speaking to over the last couple of weeks, and we'll hope to get in. We've got a busy schedule after next Saturday, so it'd be nice to get 1 or 2 in before then. And that's no slight on the group. I think the group here have worked really hard and they've shown a lot of promise, but I think it needs some help, and I think they'll all agree with that as well. I think 1 or 2 just to inject something more. That's the plan, but ultimately it's about what we do, it's about what this group does, and as a club we need to get around each other and get through this difficult situation, and no one will work harder than myself and Joe to make that happen.
That game next Saturday is going to be a real 6-pointer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think they all are really now for us. They're massive games. Every match we've got to approach and treat it like it's a massive game, because the situation that we're in is what it is. We let ourselves down against Froome. We were flat and it was unacceptable, and I think the lads were the first to say that. So when we go into next week, one thing, we won't be as flat. The lads will be at it like they were today. They were at it. We were aggressive and we fought for everything. And I think that's the type of mindset that's got to be the bare minimum. And that was probably last week was the only time we didn't have that. And it's really important when we head into Tiverton and Wimborne and those games that first and foremost we do the basic things really well. We know that we need to get some help in to support the lads in terms of personnel, like we just said, but we've got to keep doing the basic things well, and trust that with the quality that we've got in the group that things can turn around.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, boys.